All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. So, first off, I wanted to say thank you to everybody that kind of tuned in to the first couple videos that I posted, specifically the PSA reveal video. I got a lot more viewers than I anticipated so quickly. So, thank you for everybody tuned in and subscribed. Really means a lot. But for today, I have something that I've been waiting for not very long actually, but something that I'm really excited for, and that is a CSG order. So I didn't even open the box yet, but I wanted to give you a scale for it. This is what 140 cards from CSG looks like. It is a big box. This is nothing small. We're gonna see kind of what it looks like unboxing it. I've never gotten a CSG order back, and I'll explain why I did such a big order here in just a second. But I just want to kind of give you guys a scope before I kind of cut into it. So we'll cut away real quick, and then I'll see you in a sec. Okay guys, this is what's inside. So inside the big box, there were 3 little boxes, and actually it's really cool how they kind of set this up. So like if you look inside the boxes here, they have them all lined up, every single one of these cards. So they have their own little slots in here. There's 140 cards, so just doing some quick math as to what's empty, there's 50 per box. But I mean, they're pretty clean looking. I mean, this is different than how PSA and BGS sends back, and I'm not sure if this is just how they do their bulk service, but I could hear some rattling around inside when I first opened these up, and I'm pleasantly surprised to see how well packaged it is after hearing that. So yeah, this is what it looks like inside, and yeah, I'll cut away again and we'll get started. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I got everything unboxed and ready here. We're just gonna kind of jump on in, and we'll kind of go from there. So first off, got one Soda Bowman's Best here. This is just a base. Got a 10, that's pretty nice. So I'm gonna kind of explain my rationale for some of this, because you're gonna see some of these cards where it's like, well, why didn't you just send this to a different company? And you know, in today's price point, I might have, but when I submitted this order, the lowest that you could get at PSA was $50, and I think it was $65 at SGC. So I was trying to get some of these cards out of my inventory as fast as I could, and I really wanted to get these cards graded. I think that there was some opportunity here to get some 10s, and we're seeing some 10s right now. So dang, we're really hitting on these Bowmans. So these Juan Sotos I picked up all at once for like $5 each last year. But what my thought on this is, that's a nice one, it's green. CSG had just changed their label when I did this submission. So they got rid of subgrades, which I think was a very good move by the company. And I want to be clear, I like subgrades a lot. Like, I like BGS. I think they have that market essentially cornered right now, because the problem that CSG was facing is people weren't using the subgrades, but it was also putting their subgrades at a premium. And so you have maybe a quarter of the people submitting are using the subgrades, and so the people that aren't are kind of being left with their cards being worthless, essentially, because unless you get a 10, like, nobody's really going to care, because if you have a 9.5 and there's no subgrades for a company that has subgrades, like, people want to know why it was that 9.5, right? And so by them getting rid of it, I think it was a really smart move to expand their company. Oh, we're doing well in these Bowmans, dang. To try to get more clientele, and it got me in immediately. And with them being at the $12 price point, I put me in a spot where I was able to submit cards that are, you know, that $10 to $30, where they're not really cards that I want to submit for $50 or $65 at either one of these companies, outside of CSG or SGC even. And so, but at $12, I mean, the risk reward's pretty good. I mean, if you get a 9.5, you're probably making a little bit of profit on some of these cards. And then if you get a 10, I mean, you're definitely making some money. I mean, you know, for example, like if a 10 here, I'm going to throw some random numbers out there. If this sells for $80 at CSG and a 10, PSA is probably going to sell for what, 125, something like that. You're going to get like a 50% markup on it. But if you get a PSA 9 this is such a common card. I mean, you're not making any money on it, essentially. You're probably losing money just because of the grading fees that you were in. But if you get a 9.5 here, you're probably still breaking even, making a little bit of profit on it. And, you know, I think a lot of these cards had the opportunity to be that 9.5, you know. They're not all going to be 10s necessarily. And I think that just finding the right grading company for the right card is important. And I think for a lot of these cards, it was important to go through them. Now, this is a chrome one. I probably would send this to PSA at $30 at Wonder to try to get that 10. But, you know, at the time, I wasn't going to send it for $50. It's just such a high pop card. I mean, if you hit a 9, it's just, again, it's worthless. Same thing with like this, a Bobby Witt. It's just a paper card. I mean, yeah, I'm going to make a decent amount of profit on this. I mean, at a 10, but, you know, if it was a PSA 9, I'm losing money. That's just how it is. So, yeah, see, paper again. Same deal with that Bobby Witt. It's just not worth sending out. But, you know, there's a lot of duplicates in here. Oh gosh, we're really doing pretty strong here. I haven't hit anything below a 9.5 so far, but Jaw is nice 10. Yeah, so that's just kind of my thoughts on CSG right now. I really like their casings and labeling. I'm loving their grades obviously right now, but we are very early on in this thing, so I'm not gonna just say that this is their grading. We'll see how it is at the end. Yeah, see, those are our first 9 as soon as I start talking about it. But I really like the casings. I think that they feel really light and they're clear, and the label is so much better than their last one. I mean, it really is, guys. Like, it gets rid of a lot of the dead space that's up here. It's still a little barren, but, you know, for some of those longer titled cards, I think that the space is warranted. And, you know, the backside, if there's an auto card, there's a few of them in this order. You're going to have the 10 here, which I do wish that there was a 10-10 on the front. I think that looks significantly better when you see that at, like, SGC, but, you know, you see that at some of the old BGS labels. Ooh, 8.5, wow. But I didn't look at every single one of these cards extremely close, I'm going to be honest, but these Nick Yorks I definitely went through, so to get an 8.5, it's kind of a bummer. Haven't really hit on any of these Yorks yet, so another 8.5, geez. There must be a common flaw or something in these guys. But kind of my train of thought here is a lot of these cards that I picked up that I'm submitting, at least to CSG in this order, cards that I picked up, you know, earlier on in my collecting. And I think that I say earlier on as in it was, you know, years and years ago, but even like last year to 2 years ago, I was still learning a lot and deciding what kind of, you know, player I wanted to be in the card game. And, you know, I've decided that I don't want to deal with a lot of these, you know, smaller cards as much. And so I'm probably going to be selling a lot of these in bulk. Like, I'm going to try to find a dealer. If you can get these at 75% comp, 80% comp, I might even just send them off to PC Sports Cards and have them take care of them. Oh, that's a bummer. It's a nice card, though. And, you know, they'll take care of the cards for you. And, you know, it saves me a lot of time and energy to be able to do that. Oh, that's a bummer, too. But really, at this point, I'm kind of probably going to be circulating around, you know, 50 to 100 larger cards and trying to kind of go from there. 8.5, wow. Okay. Well, you know, see, as soon as I started saying how well they're grading, I started getting a lot of those lower grades, guys. It's just kind of how it goes. So definitely doing pretty strong on the 9.5s and 10s. That's obviously what we want to see. Oh, this one's a kind of a bummer. It's a logo change, so short print of Boba Fett. So basically anything that's below a 9, I've lost money on. Which, right there, all of those cards, complete waste of money. But again, at $12, it's worth it. Like, I mean, if you hit that 10, you're still doing really solid. So pink refractor 9. So I would assume a 9 is probably a break even, maybe lose a little bit. I don't know. I'm not really sure what the market price on. That's a refractor. But again, worth it in a lot of these complete sets. So kind of gonna spin back around a little bit. There's an Aaron Judge 9. Ooh, I've had these for a minute. I actually pulled these. So clearance packs back in the day used to be a thing. I don't know if you can believe that, but I got these at a clearance packs in 2018. 9.5. Aaron Judge is going to be the MVP this year, probably. So any Judge cards that you can kind of pick up, probably. If you have them already, sit on them a little bit longer. And then I would imagine he's going to be talked about a lot at the All-Star break. That's a good point to try to unload once the All-Star game happens. And then, ooh, that's a bummer. This is a nice card, too. But nice 10, Sepia. So a lot of these cards, kind of like I was saying just a little bit ago, I probably would send a PSA. And, you know, if there's some lower grade cards, even some 9.5s, I might end up cracking them and sending them back out. This is a nice card. Like, this is probably a card that I might send for, you know, $30. And with CSG, guys, if you don't know for sure, they are a very reputable company. These are grades you can trust. They've been doing a lot of, oh man, that's a bummer. They've been doing a lot of grading for years, and, you know, not in the card market. Comic books have been huge with them authenticating. But they're reputable, and, you know, anything that you're seeing here, you're going to see similar grades to other companies. So if you get those 9.5s, maybe even those 9s if you're feeling ultra confident, it could be worth cracking and resubmitting it. Oh, got a first autograph in here. Luis Arias. Got a 9 on the card. That's a bummer. That's all right. It's a nice heritage card. See what I mean about the autograph being on the back here? I really think that if it was here, it would just look way better. Even if they did like a 9-10 over the top, I feel like there's plenty of room on this front label to be able to do that. I just don't like the autograph grade on the back. I just don't. I think I like everything on the front. So, but here's another one, another 10, Luis Arias, and that's another 9. But yeah, I'll probably be cracking some cards and sending them off. That's a sweet card. Hopefully he can keep it up. I mean, I'm not actually sure where Dustin May's at. You know, I haven't been following the Dodgers too much, but, you know, he was a stud a little while ago, so hopefully he's still doing well. Matthew Lugo, if you watched that one of the last videos I did, really into Matthew Lugo, guys. So hopefully these cards can kind of blow up a little bit. 9.5. Ooh. So, what are your guys' opinions on some of this stuff? Like, I mean, here's some Juan Soto base cards. Oh, that's rough. 9 right off the bat. Do you guys like CSG? Do you guys like the casing, the labeling? If you haven't held a CSG label, a CSG card at all, I highly recommend picking one up. I mean, you can find some of these, you know, 8.5s, random stuff on eBay for a couple bucks. Just buy one. I mean, it's $5, $10 maybe to get a card that's okay. But just to kind of take a look at it, and honestly, I think that you're going to be pretty pleasantly surprised as to how you feel about it. So they're definitely going to be around. I have no doubt in that. I would be very surprised if they poured all their resources and money into this division just to shut it down. So that's a nice heritage. That's a cool card. But, I mean, you see some of these cards. These are kind of big cards. You know, if these were in PSA labels, these are decent cards. But, again, like both of these cards here, you have the Vlad Heritage, and this is a base one. So, like, a few years ago, this card was selling for, what, $250, $300 in a PSA 10? So why am I submitting it to CSG, right? It's the pop report, guys. Like, I mean, yeah, I got a 10 here, but, you know, I got a 9.5 here. And then the one before it was a 9. So, again, like, if you don't get that 10, it's not selling for $300 anymore. It's just not. I mean, it's 150, I think, and I think he's struggling. Might even be close to 100 now. If you get a 9, I mean, you're basically selling this for like $30. I mean, not even. And so you're losing money on that. And so, but at $12, I mean, you get a 10 here. I mean, this is still probably an $80 card, kind of like what I was talking about before. This is probably still going to sell for 75% of what it would sell for at PSA. And, you know, if it hits that 9 or 9.5, you might break even, or you might lose a little bit of money, but you're not losing as much money. And when it's with these low value cards, these base cards, if you want to get them graded, don't get them graded at some of these bigger companies. Just don't. Like, I mean, this card right here, I lost money on this, but, you know, it's $12. It's not $30. It's not $50. It's just not. So, but you know, if you can hit on most of these for 9.5s or higher, I mean, that's really what the game is all about, and you can make a lot more money. Like, that's a pretty cool card. This is a pretty cool case. It's pretty small. It's a lot smaller than some of the other cases that we got. So, all right, 10 again. Well, we're doing a little bit better on these 10s now. There's a gold number 2021 9 for Luis Robert. 9. This is the only Luis Robert base card that I think I've ever owned, if you can believe that. I have so much Luis Robert. I'll probably end up doing a video pretty soon on Luis Robert. This is a pretty cool card. 18 out of 18. This is a Heritage Miners 9.5 gold for Nick York. Yeah, pretty cool. But for me to only have one of his paper prospects, kind of surprising. Hey, there we go. This is a good card to have now. 2019, they printed a lot less of this type of card back then. So, I mean, if you can get some of these cards, he's obviously a stud. All right. This will probably be my next talking point, honestly. Julio Rodriguez, guys. So I heavily invested in Luis Robert, and honestly, I still think this guy has MVP upside. He's turning things on a little bit more right now. I think he's got like a 900 OPS over the past little bit. But Julio, guys, man, I don't know what to say about this guy. I think he's the next Trout. I mean, I know it's putting a lot of pressure on him, and, you know, he hasn't shown all of that, but my God, he's leading the majors in stolen bases. He is showing power now. Since the Mariners sent that letter about pitch selection for this guy, I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but he has been on another level, guys. Like, he's been doing so good. And for a rookie, I think he's going to beat out Bobby Witt for Rookie of the Year, no problem. I don't think that's even a question. And so it's kind of a cool card. Topps UK. Julio is the guy I'd be investing in from this year's class. Wander is Wander, obviously, and his value's dropped a ton, so you know what? I'd pick up a lot of Wander, too. I am picking up Wander. But if I was going to pick up guys from the last 3 classes, it's Luis Robert, it's Wander Franco, and it's Julio Rodriguez. That's who it is. And I'm not telling you to stay away from Bobby Witt, but honestly, I think that the Mariners are getting closer to the playoffs. I seriously think they're going to be there in the next 10 years. And when that happens, there is such an attention in the media from them not being in the playoffs that I truly think that it's going to be crazy, whoever's leading them, and it's going to be Julio Rodriguez. That's just what it's going to be. So, oh, that would have been a nice card to get higher. So pick him up. I would pick him up now, honestly. He's not doing he's not doing good enough for everybody to be losing their minds over him yet. So I think that now is the buy point. I really do. X-Fractor. This is a cool card. I was hoping to get a 10 on these, because obviously this is not even a second-year card for Juan Soto, but it's a pretty cool card. Here's an Acuna version, 9.5. I think I have one more of these, but I'll probably end up selling these as a pair. Kind of cool. But Julio, guys, yeah, geez. Basically anything that's shiny of his, I think it can sell pretty decent. Jordan, I picked up a ton of Jordan. Oh, that's a bummer. A ton of Jordan back in the day. I sold some stuff already. He is absolutely picking it up pretty well. This is out of 50. Pretty cool. And, you know, since he's a DH, it's kind of tough. That's at a 250, 9. it's kind of hard to gauge like where his value lies for everything. Ooh, here we go. Seat 9.5. Here we go. This is a really cool card, by the way, for Dylan Carlson. It's an autograph. I like that a lot. But I do think that Jordan is going to get MVP votes for sure. I mean, he's one of the best hitters in baseball, guys, is without question. And if you have any Jordan cards, just hang on to them a little bit longer. I really think that the MVP race is going to heat up. I don't know if Judge is going to be able to stay healthy. You never know what can happen. I mean, if Judge gets hurt, it's going to change some things. So, all right. Ooh, I'm stacking all my cards a little bit off here. Yeah, and Acuna is kind of similar to some of those other cards we talked about too, you know. These are base cards. This is a good 10. I mean, if this is a PSA 10, it's obviously worth more. But, again, if it's a PSA 9, it's not worth anything. So, better to get it in an SGC 9.5 or 10 than get it in a PSA 9. Absolutely, without question. So, and honestly, one of the things that I was also thinking about while submitting these cards is, you know, if we get these in a 10, the pop report's way lower on this. And so if people are actually gravitating towards SGC, there are some people out there that are, and that see potential in the future for the company. You know, there might only be a couple hundred of these or less, whereas there's 10,000, 20,000 plus at PSA. It's kind of, you're not going to see these as often. You're just not on eBay. So you might actually get a little bit of a bump on some of these bigger cards, like these primary cards from superstars out there. So, gosh, we're doing a lot better on some of these base cards for Acuna here. Nick York. Oh, so the 10. Okay, we get a 10 on the base Nick York here, but we don't get a 10 on any of the refractors. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. They got to be looking at something with these refractors. That's why we did so poorly on them. Look at that. Okay. It's just kind of making me laugh now. Every single one of the base ones will get a good grade on it, but, you know, got 8 5s and 9s on every one of the refractors. It's just kind of odd. Yeah, look at that. Didn't get 195 on those like 5 refractors I sent in, but every single one of these base cards got a 9.5 or higher. So that's just how it goes, I guess. There must be something, some common defect. So, all right, 9. So 1 and 1. Here's another one. Another 10. Okay. So what kind of cards are you looking at? I mean, it's the first edition. That's not bad. Obviously, like, with me being a Red Sox fan, I mentioned that in one of the last videos, you're seeing a lot of cards from the Red Sox because it's easier for me to kind of know which prospects are big. There are some players, specific players, that I've targeted at other teams. Benny Montgomery is one of them from Colorado. I think that he's struggled a little bit this year, but his potential and upside is so strong that I love the tools that he brings to the table. So are there some players that you guys are looking at that have a big future in your opinion? I don't know a whole lot about this draft class, to be honest, because, you know, I've been focusing on a lot of the cards that I have internally. So, like, this last year's draft class, I know Khalil Watson's a big name that was out there, but I'm not buying a lot of product anymore. Whereas, like, a lot of what you're seeing here, a lot of this product, I ripped myself. All of these Acunas, every single one of these Acunas, every single one of those Sotos, I opened product for days to get that. And you know what? At the end of the day, it was a lot of fun. I bought a lot of clearance packs back then, which made it worth it, but that's a bummer. But you know, at the current price points for everything, it's just not worth ripping anything. I mean, there's no point. It's a gold 8.5. Ooh, bummer. I still do rip product. I shouldn't say that I don't at all. Gold foil. Hopefully Clinic can pick it up. I got a lot of big Clinic cards. I'll tell you about that more later. But yeah, I just don't rip stuff outside of a few packs here and there. And, you know, there might be some stuff I'm going to rip. Topps Chrome this year is going to be something I'll definitely buy. Topps Chrome with Bobby Witt and some of the other players that are in there.
Bobby Witt, Julio Rodriguez is going to be obviously massive. I'm kind of spacing on some of the other guys at the moment, but that's cool. Topps Chrome X Factor 10. That's a really cool card. I think I got a couple of those in this order, but more Nick York 9, 499. But yeah, Topps Chrome and Topps Chrome Sapphire, I really think that that's just kind of where to stick to. With how many products there are out there with PSA, or not PSA, Topps nowadays, it's just kind of crucial that you stick to the core brands, the core mainstays, the base cards. I just don't think that you're going to find a lot of value when it comes to some of the other cards that are out there. So that's a short print, or it says, yeah, it's a short print. So probably this is a card I would have definitely sent in at $30 to PSA, but you know, oh well. Anthony Edwards. So there's some basketball that's scattered in here, guys. I have ripped some basketball in the past, but not a whole lot. I mean, oop, there we go. Twins, look at that. That'll be a cool little set that I'll probably sell together. But primarily baseball. You know, there's some Luka, there's some Anthony Edwards and stuff in here, but yeah, mostly baseball. Just it's easier for me to keep track of everything in baseball just because I follow the sport. I don't follow basketball as closely, and there's some players that I've invested in pretty heavily, and it just hasn't worked out for me. So I just kind of stayed in my comfort zone more or less. There's a Joe Burrow base card, but which is just baseball. So Juan Soto Chrome. This is a cool card. This is a pack pulled card. I pulled this myself. So I've been sitting on this for a long time. I really wanted to send this to PSA, but again, it wasn't worth it. So we're on Chrome 9. Got an 8.5 on the purple, so 9 on the regular. 60. Ooh, there's a 10. This card, the price of this card. So here's a really good example of why you really need to pay attention to the pop reports, because this card right here, if it's a Juan Soto sepia, it's gonna sell a couple $100, and this card was selling for probably $150 before the season started. It's down to like $75 in PSA 10. So this card right here, even though it's a 10 here and it's a refractor of his base card, this card's gonna sell for nothing. I mean, it's gonna be like $50. And so if I would have got that in a PSA 9, it sells for basically less than what you paid for it. So again, that's why we're sending these cards to CSG. So yeah, here's a Kyle Tucker. Got a couple of these back to back. These are cool cards. I bought these for $13 and $12 a few years ago. So let's see what they got. Both 9.5s. Again, 9.5 is not bad, and you can sell these in a lot together. I'm not too dissatisfied with that. But again, just be careful of what cards you're submitting out. This is a variation. This is a cool card. This card right here is probably gonna be so short printed or so low in a pop count for CSG that I bet you this will still sell for decent. There's not gonna be a lot of those out there, just because it's a short print. It's just not gonna see a lot of those graded anyway. Yeah. Well, we're getting closer to the end. I got another little stack here. Francisco Mejia. Ooh, there we go. That's a sick card. See, this is a card that I would love to get in a PSA, but I really banked on Francisco Mejia a few years back. I probably spent about $300-400 on getting a bunch of Topps Chrome autographs. This is the first one I've ever actually submitted, and we got a 10. It's probably, I'm not going to crack this, but if he can do anything, he's still pretty young. That card's going to be decent. Little chunk of change there. Here's another Francisco Mejia. Gold. Wow. So I sent in the gold and the gold wave that I had. It would have been nice to have these reversed, but, those are still cool. Cool little cards. 100% take that, so... all right, final stack here. Look at My House, Hollow, second year card. Okay. Kyle Tucker Asia Black. I think I pulled this out of a oh, look at the centering on that. Why did I even submit this? Look at how bad that is. I knew that was gonna be a 9. I pulled this out of a Walgreens pack a while back, and you know, it's a decent little card. Asia Black Refractor. I wish would have gotten a 9.5, but you know, there's a cool card. Gold foil, Luis Robert. So gold foil cards. I'll probably make a video on this pretty soon about gold foil. The pop report on those is so low compared to some of these other cards, and I cannot believe how cheap these are. The market's gotta understand at some point. I think it's going to be in the future when people are looking at buying some of these more premium players that the value is going to really go up. But the pop reports on those gold foils is just so low because the print run is so low, guys. It's just ridiculous. 9 is at 125. So I really do think that there's massive upside when it comes to that. John Carlson, black and white. That's a cool card. Is that a 25? Here, handwritten, but pretty sick. Pretty sick little archives. Yellow ball. Base 10. See, again, another great example. Don't submit this to PSA. Do not. Worth grading? Yeah, probably, but not to one of the main companies at even the current price points. We're doing pretty good on these heritage Vlads. I think we had 3 of them and got 10s on all of them. Otani. Okay. All right, I've had this card for so long. I pulled this on my own too, but it's all right. Another Otani here. Cool. Nice little rookie debut. This is a card I was even hesitant to sending to CSG, to be honest. I think it only sells for like $25 in a PSA 10, but you know, I don't even care. I'm just trying to get rid of some of these cards, so Alex Banos. I bought a bunch of this guy too. Red Sox traded this guy for Jackie Bradley Jr. So this is a Red Sox prospect, naturally. But I think he's going to be pretty good. Nick York, autograph. Ooh, there's a 10. Nice. Somebody, I did a Secret Santa on Reddit, actually. And some guy sent me this from Secret Santa, which I thought was really nice. Definitely picked my team, and you know, I got a 10 on this. That's a decent card. Nick York, like I said, one of the top prospects in all of baseball. So Tatis 10. This is a cool. Okay, I wasn't so CSG has a perfect grade, guys. They have above Gen Mint. They have a Gem Mint or a 10 perfect, and we haven't gotten any on this order. There's only a few cards left, so I doubt we will. I thought this card had a chance. It was so clean. But it didn't. That's okay. So, Taurus, 9.5. Glaber's really picked it up. That's why I submitted a couple of, or at least one of his Chrome cards. Baron Laura. That's a cool card. Atomic Refractor. That's pretty sick. And Mellow. Last card. There we go. Panini Prism. All right, so that is the order. I will kind of pull some of these out real quick so you can kind of visualize how we did. So, let's move this over a little bit more there. So let's see. We had a pretty even distribution here across the board. So we got our 10s here, our 9.5s here, 9s here, and 8.5s here, which I'm pretty happy with for the most part. I mean, easily over half of our cards came back 9.5s or higher, which is what you want. You're making profit on those. We got a decent amount of 9s back, and you know, a few 8.5s. Some of these I'm pretty surprised about, but you know, at the end of the day, I didn't check every single one of these super closely. But overall, my impression of CSG, very solid. I 100% would submit with them again, especially if you can get in at that $12 bulk submission. You know, I sent in 140 cards, so this was not a cheap order, but there's probably going to be some good profit to be had here. I would imagine on just the submissions, me selling the 10s will probably make that money back easily, and then the 9s and the 9.5s, that'll all be pure profit in the end. So thanks guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. This video is a little bit long, but we'll get some more content coming up soon, and talk to you later.